Talk a little recruiting today, including Jorden Edmonds, a player that a lot of the experts feel like Bama is going to eventually land, but moved his commitment back. What does that mean to the Crimson Tide with no future decision date set? Also, Tyler Hughes joins Alabama as an analyst. That should really help Grubb and DeBoer as a guy that they had on their staff in 2023 in Washington. So we'll talk about those things right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Love having you guys here with us today. Let's talk some Crimson Tide. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's go. Hey, everybody, Mick Gillespie. Welcome to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, and it is a pleasure to talk to you today about Alabama football. Times have been slow, so please like, subscribe, and comment. Help that algorithm get going because we got to get those views up, everybody. Come on now. All right, let's talk some recruiting right off the bat. We're going to talk Jorden Edmonds, Sprayberry Highschool, Marietta, Georgia. This is a defensive back, a cornerback-style player that Alabama really, really wants. And Maurice Linguist, who is Bama's co-defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach, really, really loves this type of player, right? And Alabama has been seen as one of the favorites to land the Peach State corner for a while. And the crazy thing was, as I mentioned, that he was going to do his decision date on February 19th. That's his birthday, but has pushed that back, and you're seeing players do that. Look, NIL is part of this deal, man. These guys, they've got a lot of pressure on them as far as, exactly where to go and who's going to give them what. But Bama battling Georgia. He's been to Georgia multiple times on visits. Georgia Tech would love him, USC, Texas A&M. I mean, you can go down the line, but for the most part, and I've checked all of the major recruiting services, they all feel like he's going to go to Alabama. So you hope that that's the case. Now, Zion Gibson is a cornerback, and he's already committed to Alabama. Their only commitment right now. But what's really cool about Edmonds is that he is a top priority for Alabama because of his size and style, man. This is a guy that reminds you of Dijon Lee, the 5-star that Alabama got out of Southern Cal. You're talking about kind of a long and lanky 6'3", 180-pounder that likes to get physical, put his hands on guys, really touchy at the line of scrimmage, and a little different than Gibson. But at the same time, you love to have both styles of guys, depending on who they're matched up with. This guy fits the Crimson Tide, and it feels like Bama's going to eventually land him, but, with no future decision date. He's not going into the list of Bama recruits, which we'd like to see a few more guys in there. But I guess eventually, and all you're hearing on the recruiting trail is that Bama is doing a good job, that those guys will sign. So no future date set, but let's talk a little bit more about this guy, what makes him good. He's the number 53 player in the country and the number 5 cornerback out of the state of Georgia. Nick Saban always did really well in Georgia. Some of Bama's best players came from that state. They won a lot of battles recruiting against Georgia, even when Kirby was there. And for Kalen DeBoer, it feels like Kirby Smart is really trying to go head-to-head on some of these top players with him, just to show everyone, hey, you know what? They beat us last year on the field, but we're about to take that over again because we care more about the players in the circle around Tuscaloosa in the South. And so a win on a guy like this would really change that perception, and it would be a great battle. He's the number 4 recruit in the state of Georgia. So, we talked about how many great players are in the state of Alabama, how the Tide's trying to fight for those guys. This is one of the best players in the state of Georgia and one of the best cornerbacks in the country and one of the best players in your rival's backyard. So you're trying to get him, knock that down, and obviously add to that cornerback spot. And with the way football is now, the teams throw the ball so much, you really got to have depth and experience at the defensive back spot. And I thought Alabama surprised me, honestly, going into the season last year. You would have figured that the safety cornerback spot would have been the weakest spot on the defense. But I thought they held up, really well. I mean, just looking back on the games, they had a lot of freshmen, true freshmen that played meaningful minutes and did well. And, they'll have a chance to build on that. Plus, you got coaches that weren't there before, like Linguist, who's done a great job everywhere else he's been. And now he's got a chance to kind of continue to bring in those type of players that he wants. And Jorden Edmonds is certainly one of those guys. So we'll keep an eye on the 4-star defensive back. And I'm guessing that this is going to be one of those guys. It's going to come down to Alabama and Georgia. And we've talked about some other guys that are coming down to Alabama, Georgia. If you're the Crimson Tide, you want to win the battle for this guy, Edmonds. And he could see significant playing time early just because of the style that he brings and the fact that Maurice Linguist loves this type of guy. And we'll see it with Dijon Lee this year when he'll be doing the same thing. He'll be out there early playing and making a difference. So secondary last year to me was one of the strengths of the Alabama football team. I want to tell you guys that we are proudly presented, as you know, by Daniel Moore and the gang at New Life Art. Love going over there, by the way, and hanging out. April and Jeff and the rest of the gang over there, Rusty, take great care of us, but they take great care of you guys as well. New Life Art. Use that promo code Bama Tailgate. Right now, this is our Super Bowl special. These two guys were part of the Super Bowl 59 championship Eagles team. And you remember both of those guys. Crimson Redemption, that's Jalen Hurts running through Bama's arch rival Georgia to win the SEC championship. 25% off that print, 25% off Heisman Heights. And that is, of course, Devontae Smith going one-handed down in Baton Rouge at LSU and another blowout of the LSU Tigers. 25% off newlifeart.com. Use that promo code Bama Tailgate. You won't be disappointed. And let make your man cave look good like mine. One of the best things you can say about Kalen DeBoer is how the coaches love to coach with him. And it seems like when there's an opening and they need a job, they want to come back and work with Kalen DeBoer. And that happened again as Alabama adds an analyst, Tyler Hughes, who was with the New England Patriots as wide receiver coach. He joins Alabama as an analyst. Now, this is a guy who was part of a first-year coaching staff, and they got fired. Jared Mayo came in to coach the Patriots, and right off the bat, he was saying weird stuff, and it just didn't go over well with ownership, and then the team didn't win, and that kind of made it even worse. And the entire staff got let go, and Hughes was not retained. Now, Hughes, who's from Snow College in Utah, 2004, was a quality control assistant at Ohio State 2013, and that's where a lot of these guys get their start, right? He has head coaching experience, did that in Division II football, a couple years, 14 to 16. And then high school football, 18 to 19. But he rejoins this coaching staff that he spent time with at Washington and was part of their run to the national title game. So you got Grubb, and now you got Hughes back, and he's already listed in the directory, so it's a done deal. And he'll be part of that staff with guys like Ryan Grubb, Nick Sheridan, and one of our favorites, Jamarcus Shepard, who were all there with the Huskies. Now, on another kind of note, Bama had another analyst in John McNulty, who's not with the program anymore. Not sure what the deal was, but he's at Rutgers. So a lot of these jobs are kind of like that. Bama has 11 of these analysts now, and that's kind of the way that it goes, right? You get these jobs. Nick Saban had a bunch of analysts. They were guys that he really depended on and loved and helped him, behind the scenes in a lot of stuff. And That I remember people saying, hey, when DeBoer took over, a lot of these guys, Saban didn't realize that they were going to be out of work, but that's the way it goes. I mean, you take another job with ESPN and all those people that work with you, they're out of work. So now DeBoer is kind of finding his analysts and guys that'll help him prepare for the upcoming season. But I like this. Like the things that you're seeing now, you got Grubb and now you got Hughes back, and you got DeBoer with a season under his belt. You got a new quarterback, but a lot of the same players returning, and maybe a sense of urgency around the program to get things right, because last year didn't turn out the way that Alabama wanted it to. Hey, guys, March Madness is coming, and I'm going to Pearl River for March Madness, or at least for the announcement of March Madness, maybe when the field's set. But we want you guys to swing over there as well. Table games and slots at Golden Moon Casino and Silver Star. You got Silver Star with the Convention Center. Blue Oyster Cult is playing, and they said that one of the reasons they brought them in is because at Mississippi State football games, they always play the More Cowbell with Will Ferrell. Now they'll have, the Saturday Night Live skit as Blue Oyster Cult, Will Ferrell playing the cowbell and all that. So they're going to be doing that at Pearl River. Pretty funny story, but they'll be over there as well. Golden Moon Casino has the Timeout Sports Lounge. That's Vegas-style sports gambling right there in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours and change from Birmingham. It's a good getaway. It's a lot of fun, and take advantage of that. Also, I know it's cold right now, but next week's going to be hot again, I guess. Dancing Rabbit, the Azaleas, the Oaks, two great golf courses. It's the Augusta you can play. You don't even need a membership, but you will have, I'm telling you, have a great time. Philip M. Steakhouse, Mom and Them's Restaurant, the Circle Bar, so many different fun things over at Pearl River Resort. And if you go over there, tell them Mick sent you. Roll Tide, everybody. Thanks for hanging.
To Pearl River Resort.